Of course, I'm going to back them. I'm going to be here to help them get through this, because that's, you know, when you're at Man United, there's always going to be criticism, and we hold our hands up now. We can't do anything but hold our hands up and say this isn't good enough for this club.
I understand you've got injuries. You're in a state of transition in some respects with young players, but it's still the worst league start for 30 years.
Yeah, and but that's you know. You can talk about that all day long, and of course we're disappointed in the points tally, performances. We're still fifth in the table, which I don't want to hang on to, that we're fifth in the table. But of course, yeah, we work every single day with these boys to improve and to get us performing better than this.
And people can see what's missing and people can see what you need. Are you getting the support that you require to change that?
Yeah, we're looking for to improve. Yeah, definitely. And we know as well. We've got our targets, and of course days like this, highlights.
Honestly, bang the table live on BT Sport. Ollie's at the wheel. Give him a contract. At that time, you genuinely felt, right, that giving that man a job here at Manchester United was going to move this club forwards, right? So, is he not doing enough? Or are there fundamental issues above Ole and around Ole that mean this is so much more than a question just about the manager?
I think around that time his record was phenomenal. Just been at PSG, won away. Young players are thriving. Rashford scores the winner. You get caught up in emotions. I'm a football fan. I love this club. You want them to do well. You jump at the chance of someone who's doing what they're get him involved, get him here, secure him and make the place, then you can start building and putting the foundations in place. But since that point, it's really been a rocky road since then. And the problem, it's not just one area of the club. I think all of it needs to be brought together, and it's going to take somebody to come in there with a vision to make that happen. Whether the person's in the building at the moment or not, I don't know. But the recruitment, and you can look at recruitment over those 7 years, this has kind of been on a downward spiral. You look at some of the players that have come in Rojo, Falcao, Fellaini, Schneiderlin, Darmian, Depay. Were these players ever Man United players really for different reasons, either mentality, ability, style of play? Were they ever really Man United players? Or was it the club saying, no, hold on, we're going to buy for now, but also future-proof the club as well? And I don't think that was taken into consideration when recruiting it, especially the early parts of the 7 years we're talking about. And then even now, you look at the team now, £600 million, you said,
yeah,
roughly been spent on this squad.
It's about £100 million more expensive to assemble this squad than Liverpool at the moment.
And the best players, probably the 4 best players this season, most impressive players have been this season, homegrown talent. Williams, Greenwood, Rashford, and who's the other one? Well, anyway, but them 3 players, just to start for starters, have been the best three, most impressive players. McTominay before he got injured, and that speaks volumes about the recruitment. That tells you how shoddy it's been.
So this isn't an issue, Peter, of Manchester United not spending money. Spending money is only the right thing to do if you're spending it in the right way. 17 months ago, they said we'd like a director of football, and it still hasn't happened.
Well, it's the huge thing, it's recruitment, isn't it? I think that's the most damning stat is that they've got a squad worth 100 million more than Liverpool's.
Probably not worth 100 million more than Liverpool.
No, but cost, sorry. But it's, I mean, it's chalk and cheese, isn't it? I mean, it's recruitment. Who's buying the players? I mean, the managers, Mourinho, Louis van Gaal, you know, they're not bad managers, David Moyes, they're not bad managers, are they? And I think now they'll probably go out now and spend 30, 40 million on a player and just try and fit him in. He's a superstar and pay a few quid and try and keep the fans happy. This squad, it's got to be the worst squad in the last 30 years. It's nowhere near it. And you can blame Ollie and you can blame the manager. But, I mean, if you look at that squad there tonight, we were looking at the options off the bench. It's miles off it. This is Manchester United. It's a sad state of affairs. It's one of the biggest clubs in the world, and it's been run badly. It's been mismanaged. They've signed players that don't fit the squad. There's no ethos. I don't know what a Manchester United player is anymore.
Well, it's like they're signing players to fix problems, isn't it, rather than long-term thinking.
When you look at Liverpool, let's look at the team that everyone's aspiring to be like now. That's the team that's setting the benchmark. That club don't buy players because they are the best player in that position or the best player about. They buy players as the best player to fit in their system, and that will actually be in that system and play in that team for a number of years. It's not a short-term fix. It's longevity looking for. Total opposite end of the scale here. We're just buying players here at Manchester United. Sanchez is a great example. Just buy him a stopgap quickly. Spend all the money you can just to fix a problem quickly. You can't. It doesn't work.
What they're doing at Liverpool as well, they're buying players, and if they're not ready, they don't throw them in. They're improving them, and every single player they've bought has improved from being at the football club. Most of the Manchester United have bought in the last few years, last 5 years even, as
to be like now. That's the team that's setting the benchmark. That club don't buy players because they are the best player in that position or the best player about. They buy players as the best player to fit in their system, and that will actually be in that system and play in that team for a number of years. It's not a short-term fix. It's longevity looking for. Total opposite end of the scale here. We're just buying players here at Manchester United. Sanchez is a great example. Just buy him a stopgap quickly. Spend all the money you can just to fix the problem quickly. You can't. It doesn't work.
What they're doing at Liverpool as well, they're buying players, and if they're not ready, they don't throw them in. They're improving them, and every single player they've bought has improved from being at the football club. Most of the Manchester United have bought in the last few years, last 5 years even, has gone backwards.
So how do they solve this problem then? Because it's not that they're not spending the money, right? But they're not spending it correctly. So while you've got the Glazers owning the club and Ed Woodward effectively running the football club and then Ollie and his team managing underneath, do you go now and spend another 50 million or another 100 million? Because you've done that. You've done that on players previously and it hasn't worked. So what is the answer here?
In this transfer window just gone, I saw a difference from the previous 6.5 years in terms of buying young, hungry British players, which was a shift from before just buying the best no matter where they're from, whatever age they're at, overpaying. And I saw a shift in that. And they've made a stand. They're probably one of the best teenagers in the world. They let go, and they let him go to Borussia Dortmund because they weren't going to be bullied, and they made a stand against being bullied by an agent. So I understand they're making little tweaks and changes here, but in the grand scheme of things, mistakes have been happening so often before that. And obviously to try and fix that, it's going to take time. But you can see here, these fans they're not giving it time. They're singing songs, they're shouting, they're leaving early. At 84th minute, 85th minute, I'm seeing people get up and go. It's unheard of at this stadium. People need to sit and watch this. Get a videotape and look at the stands in the 85th minute onwards and see people leaving with the disdain on their faces. It's an embarrassment. And I said that before, but I can't. There's no other word to explain it. I'm sitting up here thinking, this is the team that I love coming to watch, I love playing for. The difference, the downward spiral in that short space of time, which is only 7 years, has been remarkable.
You see with the interview from the Burnley players there, I mean, I remember coming here playing against Rio's teams and trying to keep the score down, let's have it right. And now they're coming here and they're expecting to win. Was it Chris Wood after there saying, we thought we could get a result. I mean, that was unheard of. And it's a sad state of affairs because, as much as I haven't got any shoe in this camp whatsoever. I played for Liverpool. I've got a family of City fans, but it's sad to see a club of Manchester United's stature at the level they're at now. I mean, this is arena we're in here, and the squad.